Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I guess I will also just share my screen if I can not ruin this. Okay, let's see. So yeah, I wanted to share with you guys specifically a presentation that I had given to a community partner that I had been working with through PhiLab. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a better understanding of what the research that I've been doing, how I sort of integrated it into the community in a way that could be understood, not just in an academic context, as a lot of us, I can assume, are so easy to using, but trying to make it more acceptable and easily understandable to everyone. So this was about social enterprise models for the GNPCP, which was the Great Northern Peninsula Community Place. I wanted to start the presentation for you guys with a little bit of information just about that space itself. So the presentation was built for the board of directors of the Great Northern Peninsula Community Place in Port au Choix. So I've tried to put a little X, it's that orange X on that Northern Peninsula right there. And then the purple area is what is considered the Great Northern Peninsula. So this community place is going to be one within what was going to be a network of hubs dispersed across the Great Northern Peninsula. So there right now is one hub that is placed in Norris Point in Gros Morne. There's the Port au Choix hub, and there is also work being done in this same sort of collective surrounding St. Anthony. So those are all within that purple area there. So there was a couple questions that I was being asked, both by the community and through my own research that I wanted to kind of touch on and work on. So how could a social enterprise be structured to ensure effective service provision and financial viability in rural Newfoundland? What role would philanthropic activity play in rural social sustainability? And can the establishment of a social enterprise spur new philanthropic activity? So there's lots of questions in there, and it was a very positive experience to kind of try be looking for answers there. One of the things that I wanted to make sure that the community groups that I was working with, that they understood the different options for business models that might work for them. So the social business model was one of the ones that I had looked at that I brought up to the community group that I thought would be possibly good for them to work on, which would be a focus on blended value models, taking into account the wants and needs of shareholders while ensuring those needs fall in line with the social environmental values set by the enterprise. So these sorts of enterprises so often give so many benefits, not just to the community group itself, but to the community as a whole, and helps bring people together to build on ideas and grow the community through a social enterprise model. So how would a social enterprise benefit the community? I wanted to come up with a couple ideas of things that this community could definitely see benefits from, and that would make them want to work on this themselves. So it was to create a space for community events to occur. While there are spaces in the community, this community hub would have a community kitchen, which would also offer food for these events, and that would also create another financial stream for this group, and also show that there is an opportunity for growth in the community. So often it has seemed in Newfoundland that people think that rural areas are dying. And as we all know, as people that do this, it isn't the case. And so having a social enterprise like this shows that community how all of these things are connected. I wanted to give a couple of examples of different social enterprises that were working in different parts of the country. So this was Common Roof, which is working out of Ontario, which is a community business center that houses multiple nonprofits under the same roof. This would also work for the idea of the Great Northern Peninsula Community Place, just because that was going to open up spaces for multiple people to work in a social enterprise setting. So this enterprise can also be reorganized for health practitioners, which was one of the things that we were hoping to look at. And it also created a space for like-minded neighbors and group interaction. So by having all of these things in one space, it really helps bring that community of people that are working on this together. Another one that I wanted to bring up to the community, and that I also think is very cool for you all, is the Shorefast Foundation. So this is a foundation out of Newfoundland right now on Fogo Island, having 3 separate social enterprises running under one umbrella foundation. So the integrity of place is one of the most important things to the Shorefast Foundation, and having that idea of collective place and the importance of that is one thing that they really focus on. So now, because of how the Shorefast Foundation has been run and that they have a hotel as one of their social enterprises, it's now an internationally recognized enterprise. And it also shows how it's very important to have space for tourism within your social enterprise, and understanding that bringing other people into your communities can benefit you for so many different ways. um, so I wanted to make sure that I had pretty set down ideas of what we can learn from these examples that I had shared. Um, some of these things were that a project like this, or a project like any social enterprise, can be scaled up. It doesn't have to start as big as you want it to be in the long run, but by starting at a small scale, you can grow it. Another thing that I wanted to bring up was that consistent conversation with the community is what makes things work. Even if you have so many people that are so interested in building a community social enterprise, if the whole community itself does not want it, it will not flourish the way that you would like it to. The community place can also use that common roof model for health workers. So that would be allowing health practitioners, of physiotherapists or doctors or anything like that, coming in and working together with other people in the area that also want to see the exact same things done for them. Fulfilling many needs in one community space is another value that I thought would be very important to bring up to this community group. And it was also very important to bring up that social enterprise can be done in rural Newfoundland. So often it seems like that isn't an option, and I wanted to make sure that this community did recognize that these were possibilities for themselves. And that was kind of all I had for you guys. I wanted to try and run through it as fast as possible, but this was the type of information that I wanted to share with that community, and this was the way that I wanted to share it, both in an academic and a community lens. So thank you very much.